Hi guys, welcome back to Barovia Made. Today I want to do a quick video on inlays. I have a piece here that I'm doing for another video. You'll see it coming to the channel shortly. But I have these ugly nail holes that I need to cover up with some nice square inlays. So first thing you want to do, grab a razor blade or a marking knife. I have a marking knife, but because the majority of you have a razor blade, I'm going to be doing it with a razor blade. What I'm going to do, put your inlay where you want it, hold it down, go around it, trace it out. Take your time when tracing it out. You want these lines to be as accurate as possible. Don't apply too much pressure. Just go over the lines a bunch of times. Using a razor blade instead of a pencil does two things. One, it's a lot more accurate. You can get right up to that line. And two, when working with things like pine that likes to splinter a lot, it means it cannot splinter past the line. It will just cut off, so you can be left with a nice clean inlay at the end of it. And what you can also do is use some double-sided tape to keep the inlay down while you're marking it out, and you can use painter's tape to put around it all, and then you can cut out the painter's tape and then just lift the painter's tape out. I prefer to mark the actual wood though. That's just how it is for me. You might be different. So once you have everything marked out there, hopefully you can see that line on camera. I don't think you'll be able to. You want to grab your router and you want to route out those lines. Okay, first you need to plug in your router. That would be a start. I'm trying to do this video in one take, just to show you how quick and easy doing inlays can be. So forgive me, it's going to be a loud noise. Get as close as you can with the router, as close as you comfortably can anyway. Then you want to come in with a very sharp chisel, and you want to keep halving the material up until you get that line. The reason you don't want to go straight for the line is because the chisel has a bevel on it. So if you have too much material, it's going to push your chisel this way into the workpiece, you know, going past your line. So take a little bit off at a time. Obviously, the closer you can get with the router, the less time you have to spend working up to that line. You just want to go around and just cut it up until that line. Hopefully my big fat bald head isn't in the way. I apologize if it is. I'm trying to do this video in one take so the folks at home can see just how quick and easy it is to do an inlay, because a lot of the times, especially when I was a beginner woodworker, I'd be quite intimidated by inlays, so I just fill stuff up with epoxy and wood glue and sawdust. And don't get me wrong, that is a fix and it can look nice in certain situations, but there are just some things that just do need an inlay, and I quite like the look of inlays. So it is a skill I think everyone should learn. I figured doing this video in one take would just show everyone at home how easy and quick it can be, and not to be scared or worried about it. And if you do mess an inlay up, you can always put a bigger inlay in. I will show you an inlay I messed up after I get this one cut out and installed. And I'll show you how I fixed it. But I think it's an important skill set to have, to be able to inlay stuff. Oh, I wandered off a bit there. That's just me trying to get this inlay in as quick as possible. I'm just going to try to straighten that line up and even it out. There we go. I'm already basically at the line here with the router, so I'm going to go straight for the line. Oh, that one was a bit splintery. Doing this with pallet wood is a lot harder because it's made out of pine, and pine likes to fold and bend rather than cut, and it also is very splintery, so it makes doing inlays quite difficult. So if you're going to practice, maybe practice on some oak or something nice and hard. But don't stress yourself. Pallet wood's free. Maybe just learn on this. Because if you can do a good inlay in pine and pallet wood, you will do an excellent inlay in a hardwood. So just keep that in mind. Right, just gonna make sure I got the bottom nice and flat and I haven't got any straggly bits out, so my inlay can sit all the way down. Another thing you can do is come in on the corners at an angle like this and push down, just to give that glue somewhere to go once you tap the inlay in. But that should be the inlay all cut out now. Where is my piece? Here it is. Just do one little look around. Yeah, it looks like we'll go in there. So when you get your glue, squirt it in, get your finger, push it up against the walls, get it all in, put your inlay there and tap it in with a mallet, not a hammer. I'm an idiot, so I'm using a hammer. And tap it in until it bottoms out. Then you either get your chisel or a plane. I'm going to use my chisel because this stuff is very splintery, and quite a few of these inlays I've had to redo because it is just chipped out with the plane. So I'm going to slowly work it down with a chisel instead to try avoid any chipping. This is going to need a very heavy sanding anyway, so I'm not too worried about big chipping out. I won't be sanding it in this video and showing you all that. You'll be able to see that in the project when I post this table. Oh, it's not, oh, this isn't a table. What am I on about? It's a charcuterie board. I'm making a charcuterie board, so when me and my friends go camping and stuff, we have somewhere to put food while we are all eating around the campfire. So yeah, all this pallet wood was donated to me by a subscriber that lives locally to me, so I am very grateful. And I made a nice charcuterie board. He said if I didn't take it, it was going to go in the fire, so he'd rather it be go into a nice home and be made into something nice rather than all burnt up to keep the house warm. So I'm glad I managed to salvage all this. I will be completely honest though, this isn't the best wood. This isn't the best pallet wood around. If I was out in the car looking for pallet wood, I'd carry on driving if I saw all of this wood. But I got given it to free. It was already all taken down because he was going to use it for making one of them pallet wood walls, you know, like I have around in the shed. You guys have all seen it in the videos. He was making one of them and decided he didn't like the look of it, took it all down and just stored it all in his shed. So this looks like it's splintered in a few places anyway, but like I said, we're going to be giving this charcuterie board a heavy sanding, so all those should be sanded out. I'm going to come back and flatten it. Oh, that was a big chip out there. I should have really used a better wood to use as my inlays, so when I come back and do all this, it doesn't chip out and look horrible. Right, now that we've got that flush with the surface, we're going to grab a little bit of sandpaper, sand around it. That should be sanded enough for the purpose of showing you this video. You want to get some of the sawdust, mush it around, get it all nice and in there. Then what you want to do is get a clear, dry and wood glue, just like this. You don't want to use Type Bond, because when Type Bond dries it turns a different colour, but this stuff, it dries clear. Get it a little bit out like that, push it in to all of those cracks and stuff around it, and then when that dries up it will be nice and clear. So I'm going to get a cloth and wipe off the excess. I'll show you the inlay. That's how we did. So with a little bit of practice you can become pretty good at an inlay. These little chip out parts will all sand out when I come to do the heavy sanding. And here's what I was talking about before, when you're messing inlay up. What happened is there was a bit too much chip out in this corner here. Like all this stuff here will sand out when I come to do the heavy sanding, but in this corner it was very, very deep. So I just did another inlay on the side there and created a nice little jigsaw sort of piece, if you get what I'm talking about. But that's the end of this video. Sorry, I'm very sweaty. It's very, oh, got a lot of dust on the camera. There we go, hopefully you can see me a bit better now. And well, that's the end of this video. Hopefully you don't find inlays too intimidating, and I recommend you learn this skill set. You grab a piece of pallet wood and you do a bit of learning, because it comes in handy and it looks a lot nicer than just wood glue and sawdust when filling little pits up and stuff. So stick around. You'll see the charcuterie board up on the channel soon. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, comment, and I'll see you later.